Coming in a variety of shapes and sizes, pterosaurs were some of the most astonishing, bizarre, yet beautiful creatures to ever exist. These majestic beings ruled the skies from the Triassic to the Cretaceous period, doing so in a way that's never been replicated. Some were as large as small planes, while others were just 25 centimeters or 10 inches long, straight out of a fantasy. But what exactly made a pterosaur so iconic and unique? And how is it that one of the most famous groups of prehistoric reptiles isn't even classified as dinosaurs? Known for their massive wings and iconic shapes, pterosaurs have fascinated us for hundreds of years. As staples of pop culture, they've appeared in countless books, cartoons, songs, and artworks over the years. Yet you might be surprised to learn that these beloved creatures were first discovered way back in 1784. And they're not even classified as dinosaurs. Initially, pterosaurs weren't even recognized as flying reptiles, but were thought to be marine animals. This confusion is understandable. In 1784, Italian naturalist Cosimo Alessandro Collini described a peculiar fossil specimen, mistakenly identifying it as a marine animal due to its odd structure. Given that archaeology was less advanced back then and often rife with mistakes, it was easy to see how this misidentification happened. It wasn't until later that scientists recognized pterosaurs as flying reptiles, thanks to the discovery of better preserved specimens from the Solnhofen limestone in Bavaria. This led to a more accurate understanding of pterosaurs, with notable scientists like George Cuvier playing a crucial role in their reclassification. Pterosaur fossils were particularly hard to find because their bones were light and fragile. Complete skeletons were usually discovered only in places with the perfect conditions for fossilization, known as Lagerstätten. These Lagerstätten formed under conditions that prevented decay and disturbance, such as low oxygen environments, rapid burial, and fine sediment that preserved even delicate structures like soft tissues and complete skeletons. As rare as they were, most pterosaur fossils that have been found are highly detailed. In 1800, Johann Hermann first suggested that pterosaurs were flying creatures, a theory confirmed by George Cuvier in 1801. Cuvier later named them pterodactylus, meaning winged finger in Greek, in 1815. At that time, the term was broadly applied to many pterosaur species. However, early scientists like Samuel Thomas von Sommering mistakenly linked pterosaurs to birds and bats, and in 1843, Edward Newman even proposed they were flying marsupials. It wasn't until later that researchers like Harry Govier-Seeley recognized pterosaurs as warm-blooded, dynamic creatures related to birds. Initially only found in Germany, pterosaurs were later discovered in other parts of the world. In 1828, Mary Anning unearthed the first pterosaur fossil outside Germany, which Richard Owen later named Dimorphodon. Significant finds like this, including Othniel Charles Marsh's 1870 discovery of Pteranodon in America, provided more well-preserved fossils that deepened our understanding of their anatomy and classification. Despite their appearance, pterosaurs were not classified as dinosaurs. But exactly why is this? Pterosaurs and dinosaurs belong to separate branches of the reptile family tree. Although both were archosaurs, a group that also includes crocodiles and birds, they evolved differently. This distinction is why they're not placed in one group, much like how Nile crocodiles and blue herons are considered far too different to lump together. Dinosaurs were primarily land-dwelling with an upright stance, whereas pterosaurs were adapted for flight, with wings formed by a membrane stretched between an elongated fourth finger and their bodies. These evolutionary differences and distinct anatomical features led to their separate classification within archosaurs. Dinosaurs fell under the clade Dinosauria, which includes all land-dwelling reptiles with an upright stance and unique hip structures. Pterosaurs, on the other hand, were placed in their own clade, Pterosauria, due to their specialized adaptations for flight. But what did these adaptations look like, and how did pterosaurs appear? Pterosaurs vary greatly in appearance, much like today's birds, with thousands of species exhibiting different colors and patterns and unique adaptations. One of their most remarkable features was their lightweight, hollow bones, which resembled those of modern birds. These bones were thin-walled and almost paper-thin, reducing their overall weight to make flight easier. Despite their lightness, the bones had a large surface area for muscle attachment, crucial for powering their strong flight muscles. Their wings were made of a membrane of skin and muscle stretched between an elongated fourth finger and their bodies. Unlike today's birds, whose wings are made of feathers attached to the arm, pterosaurs' wings were more similar to those of modern bats. Structural fibers known as actinofibrils within the wing membrane provided strength and rigidity, maintaining the wing's shape during flight. These actinofibrils were likely made of a protein similar to keratin. which contributes to the structure of hair, nails, and feathers in modern animals, including humans. Aiding in flight, a large, keeled breastbone provided a sturdy anchor point for powerful flight muscles. The skeletons of pterosaurs often showed significant fusion, strengthening their structure and supporting their flight capabilities. For example, bones in their skulls fused, creating a more solid structure. In advanced species like pterodactyloids, the skull could even be longer than the neck and torso combined, with adaptations like the naso-antorbital fenestra, which lightened the skull for flight. Pterosaurs had long, straight necks, sometimes longer than their torsos, with elongated vertebrae for better vertical mobility. Advanced pterosaurs even developed a notarium, a fused section of vertebra above the shoulders, which stiffened the torso during flight and provided stable support for the shoulder blades, enhancing control and stability in the air. Their sacral vertebra fused into a synsacrum, and the pelvic bones also fused, further supporting their flight mechanics. Early pterosaurs had long, stiffened tails that served as rudders, while later species had shorter, more flexible tails. Remarkably, pterosaurs' brains were also highly adapted for flight, with enlarged areas responsible for coordinating complex flying behaviors. This allowed them to navigate, hunt, and perform aerial maneuvers with precision. Some pterosaurs, particularly those in the Anorognathid clade, had large eyes, suggesting they may have been adapted for nocturnal or low-light conditions, similar to modern bats. Over time, pterosaurs evolved into two main groups: early long-tailed basal pterosaurs like Dimorphodon, and later more specialized pterodactyloids, including species like Pteranodon and Quetzalcoatlus. Pterodactyloids typically had shorter tails and larger wingspans, allowing them to dominate the skies in various ways. Their appearance varied greatly, with species ranging from 25 centimeters to over 10 meters or 33 feet wingspans. While once thought to be extremely lightweight, later estimates suggested that the largest species could weigh up to 250 kilograms or 550 pounds. But what about their diet? What did these monsters eat? Pterosaurs exhibited a remarkable variety of diets, with each species evolving unique features to thrive in its environment. For example, Pterodaustro had over 1,000 bristle-like teeth arranged in a comb-like structure, allowing it to filter small organisms like plankton from the water, much like modern flamingos. On the other hand, Pteranodon and Ornithocaris were piscivores, feeding primarily on fish. Istiodactylus, with curved interlocking teeth, likely fed on carrion or small animals, while Sungaropteris had robust jaws for crushing hard-shelled prey like mollusks and crustaceans. Some pterosaurs may have been frugivores, consuming fruit, while others, like the Anorognathid family, were adapted to catching insects. The diversity of their diets was matched by their adaptability to different environments, allowing them to thrive in various ecological niches. Sadly, pterosaurs, along with non-avian dinosaurs, went extinct around 66 million years ago during the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction event, caused primarily by the impact of a massive asteroid near the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. This event triggered global wildfires, tsunamis, and an impact winter, leading to a collapse in food chains and the eventual extinction of these magnificent creatures. Despite their extinction, pterosaurs remain one of the most fascinating species of prehistoric animals. Their unique adaptations and diverse lifestyles continue to captivate our imagination. But what do you think? Which is cooler, pterosaurs or dinosaurs? And what prehistoric animal do you want us to cover next? Let us know in the comments, and while you're at it, why not hit the like and subscribe buttons to learn all about the wonders of prehistoric times. Until next time, stay curious.